So, how's everything going with the band?
Everything's going really cool, man. Yeah, really good. We're ticking along. We just finished recording our third album, and it should be out in a couple of months. A release date hasn't been set yet. We're still behind the scenes getting a few things sorted. But yeah, this year we're going to be releasing our third album, so we're pretty excited at the moment.
Nice. Do you guys have a album title in mind, or is it still
We
kind of up
do.
in there?
We're still tossing up a few ideas, but I think we've narrowed it down to about three different names. One of them is Secrets, and the other two escape me right now. But they're like, I don't know. We're trying for a bit of a different sort of niche on this third album. We weren't really going for any sort of theme that we were doing on the last two, so we're still trying to come up with a nice title that suits the style that we're doing. So it's taking a bit longer than normal.
Yeah. So, as far as like the new album coming up, what's the band's expectations as far as how it's going to sound, and what are the fans expecting to hear after it's released?
So the new album is going down I guess you could say we're changing our styles slightly, but staying true to our roots. We did it on the last album as well. We're always under the impression that, when you record an album, it should be a reflection of yourselves during that time. You know what I mean? Like we don't want to be like Slayer, where you just do the same album 30 times over. You know what I mean? Like, that's cool. Don't get me wrong. I love Slayer. They're fucking awesome. But, you know,
Yep.
you can't sort of just expect your fans to stay true to your side anymore when doing that, like it's not the 80s anymore. So when we were doing, the second album, The Darkest Road, we wanted to take a different sort of pathway, mainly because Rhys was injected into the band back then. So we had this new versatile screamer / singer.
Uh-huh. So you
And then,
guys actually got a new singer after before Darkest Road, or?
yeah. So we recorded Dead or Alive, our first one, and then we parted ways with Corey, our old screamer, soon after that. And then Rhys stepped in. And, pardon me, Rhys did a lot of the tours for Dead or Alive as well. So it was kind of weird. Like, we recorded an album with our singer, like our old singer, and then soon after the album was released, we parted ways with him and Rhys stepped in. So it was kind of surreal for a while there, like we had all of these songs that were sung by somebody else and Rhys was singing them, doing an amazing job, obviously. But that's why we were really excited to get into the studio and record The Darkest Road, the second album, because Rhys was just dying to, get his lyrics down on paper, and get them into the studio. So it was a really fun time, that second recording. But for this third one, we obviously it's all the same sort of members and that, except we have a new drummer now, Tricky. So that was really cool working with him. Tricky's a really versatile, awesome drummer. So it was really cool seeing what he can do in the studio. And I think everyone's going to be pretty excited when they hear it. But we decided to go for a bit of a different sound, whilst also, like I said before, sticking to our roots, because we just didn't want to keep it the same. You know what I mean? We had all these different ideas and we wanted to bring them to the table. So the new album is a lot more, I guess you could say, a lot more melodic. We have a lot more choruses in it, a lot more singing. It's a lot more singing based rather than riff based. We've still got a couple of cool riffs in there, you know what I mean? But we decided to focus on myself and Rhys for this new album. Yeah.
Yeah, well, he has an amazing voice, and so do you. So
Thank you.
I would say that would be the best bet.
Yeah. Cheers, man.
And everyone loves the lyrics, So you guys have great lyrics as well, as far as like being more deep, and getting personal.
Yeah. Yeah, we try to take it like a sort of a different aspect to most bands, like not sort of death and destruction and sort of. But we try to have a bit of meaning in there, have a bit of depth. So. Yeah, I'm glad the message gets across. It's awesome.
Oh yeah, I love it. It's good stuff. So can you describe the overall sound of the upcoming album? Is it? I mean, you said more melodic. Is it? Is there anything else you can add about it?
Um, what else? Yeah, has changed up. Reese has changed up his screaming style for a lot of it. Actually, we're stepping away from the more toneless screaming, and we're doing a lot more pitched screaming, where he's singing but he's screaming at the same time. So it's like sing screaming, I guess you could say. Like it's called pitched screaming, but it's I guess the only way to describe it is a sort of, it doesn't really sound like it, but a good way to describe it is the new Architects sound. Like the where they're screaming but they're singing at the same time. It's like a pitched scream. So there's
Kind of like Iron Maiden-ish type.
Oh, Iron Maiden, one of my favorite bands, yeah. But Bruce Dickinson doesn't scream, like he sings, and he sings like an angel. But think of like power metal like Iron Maiden, but with like raspy screaming
Okay.
instead of
I
singing. Yeah, yeah. So there's a fair bit of that on the new record, and I don't know if I sold it well just then, but we're pretty excited about it. It sounds pretty cool. So
that gives us something to look forward to. Just hearing something different.
yeah, that's it. Exactly.
So let's see what the last album, Darkest Road, had tremendous success during its release. Is that kind of an intimidating thing to think about, trying to top that, or is it?
Yeah.
Are you guys just fine with that?
It's well, we were always so humbled by it. You know what I mean? Like we're just five dudes from Brizzy, so it's like when we saw The Darkest Road chart at #1 on iTunes in Australia and stuff like that, we're just blown away, man. Like we didn't expect it to happen. We didn't even expect to get signed to a record label. You know what I mean? Like you probably hear it from so many different musicians, but it's true, man. Like at the end of the day, we're all human. So we're just winging it. Basically, we're just coming up with what we like doing, and we listen to all the feedback and all the positive messages we're getting from everybody, and we're just blown away, man. It's awesome. And yeah, I guess you could say we're kind of intimidated a little bit from our last album's success to see how this one goes. But at the end of the day, we're proud of it. So I don't care if we sell one record or 100 million records. Like it doesn't bother me because we had so much fun doing it, and we're proud of the finished product. So whatever happens,
Or the latest album is being produced by Frederick Nordstrom and Henrik Oud. Do I pronounce that right?
Yep. Certainly did, and you're one of the only
Nice.
people who have.
So they worked with you on the darkest road also, right? Or am I correct?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, and Dead or Alive. They've done all of ours.
I didn't know that. So what has it been like working with them? Why do you keep coming back to them? Is it?
Fantastic, man. Like Frederick is world class. Like they've become friends of ours, which is really cool. We a lot of bands obviously go to their world class studio in Sweden, but I don't know, on Dead or Alive, we decided to maybe just use our tenacity a little bit and try something different. We flew Frederick and Henrik out to Australia, and Frederick brought his family with him, and it was a pretty hectic month. But look, we got a really good album out of it, and we played tour guide to his family and stuff like that. So I think we were lucky in that regard. We got to show them a lot more sides to us than just musicians. Like we like I was like the last time they came out for this third album. Frederick brought his family again, and we were riding dirt bikes with them and taking them to places all around town, down the Gold Coast to the surf beaches and stuff like that. So we've been lucky enough to become friends with their family, and it's cool. It's a cool thing to do because we're not just going to their studio and then leaving and the next band's coming in. They're actually coming on an Australian holiday. And whilst it was pretty hectic and it probably would have been a lot less stressful to just go over there and record, we're happy with what we did because they go home raving about Australia, and it was because of us. So we're cheering.
What's the atmosphere like when you guys are working in the studio? Is it pretty intense, or is it kind of like pop a beer and?
It is, well, it's both, man. Like, there's so many ups and downs, like being in a band, you probably hear this a lot. Being in a band is like being in a relationship, just minus the sex. So, well, it depends what band you're in, I guess. But look, it's so it can be very volatile sometimes, especially in that writing stage. Like you got five egos butting against each other, and it's then you throw a world-class producer like Frederick into the mix, and sometimes he settles you down, sometimes he shows you clarity, and other times he just frustrates the hell out of you. Like, it's he didn't get to where he was without being ruthless. Well, critical, a perfectionist, and ruthless. And Godspeed to him. Like he does such a good job. Like he'll tell you if what you're doing sounds like crap. And he does, and you change it, and then the new thing that you change it to sucks, and he tells you, and you got to do it again, and it's like, wow, man. But at the end of the day, the product sounds awesome. So we're happy that he does what he does.
Push you guys.
Yeah, that's right, man. Otherwise, it doesn't get done. Like we've always said, and it's no secret, man. Like Frederick is acts like a sixth member of the band. Like he's helped us so much, even though it's our music and it's our performance on the record. Like a lot of the influence came from that man. So
you guys did record this in different studios in Australia, right?
Yeah, we did. We've been through a couple of studios. A couple of our friends own different types of studios and stuff like that. So we've been lucky enough to record there. But for the second album and this one as well, we recorded drums in a separate studio because with drums, the common knowledge is as the bigger the room, like the bigger the recording room, the huger the sound, I guess you could say. Like that's obviously open for opinion amongst sound engineers. But if you've got a gigantic, cool setup room, then it's easy to create a really huge drum sound. So for our last album, we recorded the drums. It's a studio here in Brisbane called Wavelength Studios, which is shut down now, unfortunately. So for the third album, we recorded drums down the Gold Coast at a friend of ours' studio, Core Studios. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
So the big studio was the one where you recorded the drums. That was the Brisbane one.
Yeah, Brisbane. Yeah, in Brisbane.
And then the Gold Coast was, what did you record there? Just vocals, or was it
no?
Guitars,
just drums. Just drums. We recorded.
Oh, just drums
for this album, for the latest album, and then we recorded guitars and everything like that out in a place called Roma, which is a small town about 6-7 hours west of Brisbane, and that's actually where Matt Cozzy is from. So we took Frederick's family out there, and Cozzy's parents live on a huge reserve, like a huge ranch kind of thing out there. And the kids were able to ride dirt bikes and play with farm animals and stuff like that. So kept the kids entertained, and pardon me. And obviously, being the place it is, there's their neighbors are about 20 kilometers away, so we were able to make as much noise as possible. And so that's where we recorded guitars and bass and stuff like that. And then vocals were done back in Brisbane at Cozzy's house. We set up his little man cave with mattresses and all sorts of stuff to dampen the sound, and created a nice working little vocal booth. So we did it on a budget, man, but it was super fun. And Frederick was really keen to sort it out. It was good.
Awesome.
It's good to see his other side of his profession, where like he sits at a desk and he's a magician behind the computer, but you know his knowledge about studio setups is ridiculously vast. Like like he just knows how to set up a studio well. He knows how to get a good sound. So we were able to turn, you know, like a what is basically a bedroom into, a really cool sounding vocal studio. So it was cool. It was really cool.
Yeah, that's neat. I do a little bit of that home studio. I call it ghetto recording, but
That's way exactly what it is. But you know what? If it makes a good sound, then it's just as good as $1 million studio.
yeah, that's what I'm saying too.
That's it.
So last month, you played with I believe Sevendust, right?
Yeah, we did, man. Yeah.
How did it turn out?
Oh man, it was such a good show. Um, Super fun. It was at a really cool venue here in Brisbane called the Eaton's Hill, and it's a world class venue. Like everything's great. I love it when you play at venues like that because there's no sound mishaps or anything like that. We had our sound guy Ian Redmond, who was a magician. Doing sound for us. So everything was just perfect, man. It was such a cool show. Sevendust are the nicest guys you've ever met. Like everybody says that about everyone, and it sounds real cliche, but it's true, man. Like these guys are a touring headlining band, like world-class band, and they were standing side of stage watching us play, and they don't have to do that. They could be upstairs on the phone talking to their wives or girlfriends or sons and daughters or whatever, or, playing Flappy Bird on their phone. They could be doing anything, but they were standing on the side of stage, man. They're just super passionate guys. And, we had a lot of fun that night, man. Met some really cool people. It was awesome.
Nice. Any upcoming shows or events coming up, or?
We're coming back to the States.
Nice.
Yeah, get excited. We've purposely we played a show 2 weeks ago here in Brizzy, and we're just trying to keep things quiet at the moment. Just saving our pennies for when we go on the road again. We don't want to do too many tours right now leading up to the album's release. We want to do a big tour once it comes out. This year we've already been all around Australia playing shows and stuff like that. So we're gonna have a rest for a month or two, just in get all the final touches done on this album and make sure it's all legit and awesome. And then we're gonna hit the ground running later in the year. We're coming back to the States. So
nice. Awesome. We look forward to it.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. We had such a ball last time, so it's really cool.
So, what kind of bands are you guys listening to and digging on at the moment?
Man, our tastes kind of vary. Hey, like we, for example, myself, I listen to a lot of power metal. Like I love the really melodic style of singing, like just like we said before about Iron Maiden, like one of my favorite bands, Ed Guy, Blind Guardian, Rhapsody, all those real cheesy power metal, like singing about Warcraft and all that kind of stuff, and Lord of the Rings and all that sort of nerdy stuff, I love it, man. I love it. It just takes, like, you listen, as a musician, you listen to the actual song, set up, and it's just amazing music, you know what I mean? So that's what I listen to. You could probably, I try and bring that influence into the band as best I can, without turning it into a power metal band. I like to, sing in that kind of style, I guess you could say. But look, the other guys, some of them listen to more traditional, metalcore and stuff like that, like Parkway Drive and As I Lay Dying and bands like that, and Killswitch Engage. And it was actually really cool on this album because Tricky, our new drummer, has been friends with us for years, but he listens to a lot more funk and like really sort of, like rock, but like progressive rock and stuff like that. And like it was really cool bringing his influence into this recording because, we didn't have that before. Our old drummer, Andy, he amazing drummer, but he listens to more of the death metal and stuff like that. So his drumming style was a mirror of that, and that's cool. It was really fast and heavy and double kicks like a hummingbird, which is awesome. But Tricky's just so much more versatile on the top end, So yeah. So yeah, we listen to all sorts of music, man, but mostly the heavies.
Yeah, it always seems better when there's more influences involved. It seems like there's a better product at the end. That's more original too. That's not trying to copycat something. So
Yeah, that's it, man. Exactly.
awesome. And so, what other? I heard you guys say something about dirt biking, but what other activities do you guys partake in when not playing music?
Um, we well, I like to surf. We've got some, where I live, it's about half an hour away from the Gold Coast, so I get down and go surfing as often as I can. Rhys is a mad skateboarder, loves going down the half pipe and stuff like that. So yeah, we keep active, man. We're not just locked up in our rooms and playing music. We like to get out there and experience the great outdoors. So yeah.
I do a little bit of that surfing, a little bit too.
Nice, man.
You got it when you're living in California, right?
Oh yeah, it's like the surfing capital of the world.
Yeah. Same with Gold Coast. I mean, I've seen
Yeah, that's
pictures
it.
of that. It's beautiful.
We're very spoiled human beings. We get to live in these beautiful places, and yeah, I certainly never take it for granted. That's for sure.
Just watch out for those sharks over there. I heard about them.
Yeah, man. Yeah, they'll get you. They'll get you. No, we part of being Australian is learning how to dodge sharks. So yeah.
So if the band had never met or taken off, what do you think you guys would be doing at the moment?
Oh man, hard question. I'd probably be playing in a different band. I guess that's the most logical answer to that. But look, if music wasn't my passion, um, I would be, well, a very sad human. That's for sure, because music brings so much joy and happiness to my life. So it's so much fun. But look, I've got a day job and stuff like that. I'm a plumber by trade, and look, I'd probably just be doing that, and surfing and stuff like that, which doesn't sound terrible, but life without music is a terrible one. So I'm glad I'm doing what I'm doing. And the other boys are the same, like they Cozzy, he's a environmental scientist
Wow.
as well. So he he went to uni and did all that sort of stuff before he decided to dive into the world of music. Tricky is a sign writer and a sound engineer as well. So yeah, look, we've all got our professions and stuff like that we do during the day to help fund the band at this stage. Hopefully the tides will turn soon, and Breach of Silence can be a full-time job.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, that's it, man.
Last question, very unserious question. What is the best beer money can buy in Australia?
Oh man, you're talking to a Queenslander right here, so I'm obligated to say 4X. 4X, yeah. Do not ever drink Foster's.
Oh, I mean, they have that here, so that's the only Australian beer we get here.
That's what I mean. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. And mate, it's absolute water. It's ridiculous. It's like the biggest joke Australia played on the world.
Nice.
You know? Like we export this ridiculous beer, and everyone laps it up, and it's like, oh, Australia, Foster's, and it's like, oh man, if you guys only knew, like. Nah, man, look, I've got a couple of really cool favourites, apart from 4X because it's Queensland born and bred. But I like a little beer called Little Creatures Pale Ale. Yeah, Little Creatures is a cool one. James Squire is another one. They're two of my favourites. They're more sort of craft beers. But look, one that I have gotten into recently, and this is a bit of a shameless band promotion here. We the band has our own beer now.
You guys brew it?
Yeah. We brew
Awesome.
it. Yep. We have a little micro brewery here in Brisbane, and Yeah, they help us make TPNE lager. Oh, sorry, TPNE IPA. It's an IPA. So we named it after our song TPNE for the party never ends. So it's a pretty strong beer. It's like 8%. um, and yeah, it's actually getting on taps around pubs in Brisbane now. So I was at a pub called the Archive Bar at West End, a little inner city section of Brisbane, and I walked up to the bar, and TPNE Lager was on tap. I'm like, what? This is awesome. It's my beer, man. It's my beer. Do I get it for free? You know?
Yeah. If you don't
Yeah,
get
it
it for
was
free,
really.
that would be kind of weird, right?
I know, right? I know. Well, they paid for it, so obviously they need to make their money. So I was more than happy to pay for it. That's for sure. But yeah, man. Look, we started that up about a year ago at yeah, the All In Brewery. They're good friends of ours now. We play acoustic sets there for them and stuff like that on Saturday afternoons because the brewery doubles as like a pub as well. You can go there and drink as well as brew your own beer, you know. So yeah, they get the food going on the weekends and stuff like that. So you can get a mad feed, and then yeah, you can drink craft beers all afternoon, and like they're all brewed on site. So yeah, it's really cool. Yeah, so that's my choice of beer is well our own, and if I'm not drinking TPNE, then it's probably Little Creatures or James Squire.
Nice.
Mm. To tell you the truth, but I'm a rum man myself. If I've got a choice, then I'm drinking rum.
Go straight for the hard stuff.
That's it, man. I'm a pirate at heart, so
Nice. All right. Well,
yeah.
that's all I got for you. So, unless you got anything else you want to mention or anything like that.
No, no, just I think I mentioned it all, man. We're coming back to the States. We love you guys. We had so much fun when we were there last time, and we can't wait to do it over and over and over again. So we'll see you guys later on in the year.
Awesome. Can't wait to see you.
Perfect, man. Sweet as. Can't wait.